elite category where they cycled 120 kilometers. Now, I want us to shift gears. We get into the talk on AFC Leopards elections, Kenya's oldest football club. They will be having their elections on the 29th of June. And joining me in studio is Vincent Enos Mutoka, who is vying to be the next chairperson of AFC Leopards. We want to get into that conversation and we get to hear what he has to say about his vision for AFC Leopards. The last time AFC won the league was in 1998. So very long time before they won a league. So we want to get into that conversation. Welcome to Scoreline, Enos. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Robinson, for having me here. I really appreciate it.
First, you are playing Talanta this afternoon. What are your expectations?
We are beating those ones. We need to revenge on Talanta. Yes. The last time we met them, they scored us 4-1. We are going to make sure that we thoroughly beat them this afternoon.
Yes, let's get into this conversation. On the 29th of June, you are having the elections. You want to be the chairman of AFC. I mean, why do you want to be the chairman? Or why do you believe that you are the right person to take FC to the next level that they need to be in?
First, anything that determines who a fan of any club is about passion. First, you must have passion for a club, for you to be that member, that fan, that fanatic that wants to support the club. And therefore, I am telling members that I have been with this club. In fact, the last 3 seasons, I have only missed 2 matches of AFC Leopards.
Yes.
We have people who are now coming this election to tell us that they want to be leaders of this club, yet they have never supported the club, yet they have not been even attending matches, even just having a jersey of the club. They don't have it. Yes. And yet they are presenting themselves today that they want to be officials of this club. So the first priority for any fan, any member, it must be passion. Look at that person you want to elect. Are they passionate about the club or not? And that's what will determine who a leader of the club is.
Enos, you're not new to FC Leopards. And as we are having this conversation, let me take you back to 2023. Yes. Somebody will ask themselves, why will Enos want to lead the club? And there's a time he sued the club for 5 million shillings.
First, thank you so much for that question, Bwana Robinson. Yes. First, I was contracted by the club as a commercial director. And I also want to dispel the rumor that I actually sued the club. I did not sue the club.
Yes.
I was contracted by the club as a commercial director. I have the contract here with me, signed and legally binding by the club. I was approached because they had seen the potential I had as a resource mobilizer, and therefore they gave me a contract telling me that they did not have money to employ me at that time. They wanted me to go out, and so they gave me a contract that go out, get resources for us, and whatever resource you bring in, we give you 10%.
Yes.
And therefore, in 2022 August, I brought the current sponsor on board, who was giving the club 180 million for 3 years.
Yes.
10% of 180 million.
That's 60 million, roughly.
60 million
50, 60 million a year.
Yes. So every year they were to pay me 6 million. If you multiply that by 3 years, it's 18 million. So the club was to pay me 18 million, which is a 10% that is captured in my contract as a commercial director, stroke consultant. So I was working for the club, but not being paid.
Yes.
My payment was to be whatever resources I bring in, they give me a commission of 10%. And this happens worldwide.
Yes.
We have people, these people are called business developers, and they are paid what we call finder's fee. Only that in my contract, it's captured as a 10% commission.
Yes.
So when I brought in the sponsor, they gave money to the club gave me 500,000. They paid me 500,000. Meaning that for that year, they were then to pay me another 5.5 million. About 3 months, they had not honored that. I spoke to them, they said I give them time. It went all the way up to 2023. That's when I approached my lawyer, gave him my contract, which was legally binding. Then he wrote a letter, a demand letter to the club. When the club received that demand letter, they called me for a meeting and told me I give them time 3 months they will sort it out.
Was it sorted?
It has never been sorted up to now. As I stand here today, those 3 months have never arrived.
They turned out to be more than 1 year.
Yes.
Now that you've proven to, of course, the club that you can be a resource mobilizer, what do you intend to do for AFC so that, you can have more resources at your, at the club, at the club's disposal, so that now we don't have these, the handouts that normally go around. You don't have to depend on politicians.
Thank you so much for that wonderful question, Bwana Robinson. First, look at the kind of situation that I find myself in. I have been close to this club, then I am given a contract, legally binding, and then when it comes to paying me, they don't pay. They default. We are saying AFC Leopards is a big brand, but we have bigger brands like Safaricom, bigger brands like Coca-Cola, EABL. They have a marketing budget and a marketing department. We must make sure that we open up the club to a marketing department that will go out and market the club. And when we get people who are resourceful, people don't work for free.
Yes.
We must make sure that we entice people to bring money to the club, and in that way they get to be paid. And in my discussion with the club, it actually bore the discussion at the club that now there is a policy in place that anyone who brings money to the club, not just Enos with this contract, but any member or even you, Robinson, if today you get a sponsor and bring that sponsor to the club, you will be paid your 10%. And actually that 10% is the minimum. And therefore we must attract people who wants to support this club, so that when they hear that you're going to reward them for their effort, I believe we are going to open up this club to more corporate sponsors.
What type of structures do you intend to add to the ones that are there already established at AFC?
First, we must make sure that we have a robust scouting department, which will be led by a technical director. Because for a very long time, we've been recruiting players in an amorphous way. Just haphazard going, speaking to whoever, and then you bring in players. We want to make sure that we have a robust technical director, a recruitment department that can help us to identify good players, quality players, tier 1 players that will come and play for the club. Number 2, I have talked about marketing.
Yes.
We must make sure that we have a functional marketing department for the club, so that we don't just be there saying that the AFC Leopards is a big brand that people will bring themselves, sponsors will bring themselves. We must make sure that we go out there and market the club. Number 3, we must make sure that we have a finance department that is fully functional, so that we have transparency at the club. We have audited accounts that can be shared with our members on a quarterly basis, and we have honesty that whenever members come to the club and give us funds or any funds that are brought to the club, they are utilized in a transparent manner. And then also we must make sure that we get other departments that are functional for the club, so that we don't have this way that only 2 or 3 people are the only ones that are working for the club. This club must establish structures that can work for it going forward.
Aside from that, player welfare also forms a bigger, a bigger chunk of what you are supposed to do as a chairman. What do you intend to do with player welfare?
Allow me to just rush through my pillars on the manifesto. Number 1 pillar on my manifesto is rediscovering our lost glory. How do we rediscover that? Because it's been, you've rightly said that this club won the last league in 1998. Those are 27 years ago.
Yes.
We must make sure that we reclaim our lost glory. And how do we do that? We must sign quality players.
Yes.
And that's why I've said we must establish a technical committee that will give us quality players. We must get a quality technical bench.
Yes.
And then these two, the quality players and the quality technical bench, their welfare must be taken care of. And so that brings me to my second manifesto pillar, which is financial sustainability. The club must be financially sustainable. For us to take care of the welfare of the players, we must have money.
Yes.
And that's why we are saying we want to bring on board more sponsors. We want to utilize on our merchandise so that we also segment our merchandise. is not just bringing in merchandise with a blanket price. We must make sure that we reach each and every level of our fans, of our members. If one wants a merchandise of 1,000, they should be able to get, because we are segmenting our market. You must know your customer.
Yes.
The price that you sell to a certain clique of people in the society is not the same price that you will want to sell to another clique.
Yes.
And therefore, we are saying we must segment our merchandise. And also in merchandise, we must diversify it, so that we are not just talking, when we talk about merchandise, it's not only about jerseys and replicas. We must make sure that we are diversify it, have kids merchandise, have bracelets, have caps, have umbrellas, have jackets in the name of AFC Leopards. Then we come to youth development.
That is where actually I wanted to go.
Yes.
Yes, youth development and the youth teams.
Yes, we must make sure that we have a competitive youth team.
Yes.
So that when we sign partnerships with our schools in Western, like Kakamega High School, Greek Commandos, Musingu, the Scorpions, St. Peter's, Shandarema, St. Anthony, we bring those players to Nairobi with the goal of taking them to a competitive youth team, so that they feel that they are playing for AFC Leopards. It should not just be the ambition of that player when they are coming from the village.
Yes.
They want to, from school, they want to go straight to the senior team. We must have a structure that has a youthful, a competitive youth team, that they will feel that indeed they are playing for AFC Leopards. And then that will be a pipeline for us to develop that and nurture that talent. Then we promote them to the senior team with the aim of selling them outside the country. And that will be a revenue source for this club. And then my manifesto number 3 pillar is on leadership.
Yes.
Leadership inclusivity. We have had challenges with leadership at the club, but it's our own making in our constitution. So what we need to do first, once we are elected, we need to go for a retreat. We come together as the elected leaders, we put our manifesto together, harmonize, and live there with one aim of working for AFC Leopards. And then in that way, we start walking the talk of helping this club. And then lastly, infrastructure development. Infrastructure is a big thing for any club.
Yes.
But for us as AFC Leopards, 61 years down the line since inception, we have no place to call home. I am telling members of the club that once you elect me as your chairman, I am promising that in 2 years' time, with all this revenue...
If elected, should we hold you accountable?
Yes.
That?
Yes.
Yes.
In 2 years' time, we are going to make sure that AFC Leopards has a place to call home. And we are going to buy land. I have already said we are going to increase our revenue resources.
Sometimes back the club was given land at Kasarani.
The land was given to the club a long time ago. Some of us were not even born.
Yes.
But I am happy that at least the outgoing leadership tried to follow it up. We will also try to follow it up. But if that doesn't come out, if that doesn't work out, we are going to make sure that we come together as a club and buy our own land, start developing a training ground, which later we develop into a stadium.
Now, FC, aside from, what happens on the pitch, it's also a tool of unity for the Luya community.
Yes.
And something that often happens when we are heading into FC elections, now there's normally no unity. People start moving to their own sub-tribes and supporting that. What are you going to do to bring all this together?
In my campaigns, I've been telling members that AFC Leopards was formed for 3 reasons. AFC Leopards, number 1, was formed for entertainment, like winning the league and winning trophies.
Yes.
Number 2, AFC Leopards was formed to unite the sub-tribes of the Luya community. We have about 18 sub-tribes.
Yes.
And therefore, and in fact nowadays, it unites even the nation. And therefore, we are here to tell our members that from whichever sub-tribe you come from, you have the opportunity to vie and be voted in as a leader of this club. No one should come to us telling us that it's only one sub-tribe or 2 that can lead this club. We are telling members to be encouraged that us as a community, we can be united to work for this club as a community. The other purpose that AFC Leopards was created for, the last one, was to create employment opportunities. But this one, we have only left it for the secretariat, playing unit,
yes.
and the technical bench. I have always told my members that AFC Leopards has a very big potential, that if well harnessed, it can employ so many of us at the club and give us a livelihood. Yes.
Thank you very much, Enos Mutoka. Of course, he will be vying for the chairman's position at the 29th, rather the elections that will be held on the 29th of June. And of course, we'll be looking forward to see how that unravels. And we wish you well, Enos. Now, before we wrap up the show, yes, rather early in the morning, we had the FIFA club